Welcome to another episode of the Laugh and Be Blessed podcast with your hosts, Jake and Chia Ruble.
I don't ever want to, video record these because I don't like the way I look, but God, I wish people could see the faces you make. Maybe we'll just record your face, and I'll stay off camera.
Yeah, I mean, either way, dude, I think that people want to see it.
I think people want to see you. I agree.
Well, we promised we would be back, and by God, look at us, we're back.
We're back. We did it.
We're doing it.
We're doing it.
2 in a row, baby. We're feeling good. We're feeling funky. We're going to keep things a little chunky. I mean, I'm not losing any weight, is what I'm trying to get at. Yeah, yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
God dang, you look good.
You look good.
No, stop it. Every now and then, whenever I'm taking a nap or something, and I'm laying in bed with my shirt off, and I hear the door open, from the house into our room.
No, you don't.
I promise. I'll throw my arms behind my head or something to make me look cool. For whatever you walk in, because I want to look like I'm napping cool.
It's kind of like when I'm laying in bed and I pop my butt out a certain way, but I'm asleep.
Yeah.
But I'm not asleep.
Yeah.
You don't know that's what I'm doing.
I mean, I have a pretty good idea.
No.
Yeah, because then if I don't touch your butt, you keep doing it. And then if I don't do anything, you'll start pushing your butt up against me multiple times until I touch you.
I'm asleep.
Obviously.
I don't know what's going on.
Obviously.
That's
well,
just sleepy Chia.
Welcome back. We're so excited to be here once again with you. And by be here, we mean not leaving our house. We're still, we're happy to be here. And we're in our
spirit.
Yeah. Well, we're also here. What do you mean?
With other people. We're with them in spirit, but we're not physically with them.
Are you saying we're going to die and haunt these people after this episode?
That'd be amazing.
No,
not
it wouldn't be.
I don't haunting people.
Haunting, dude, that'd be so cool.
I would, one of these days when we're nice and old, I want us to die at the same time. And then we can haunt people together.
So do you think that if we don't die at the same time, we can't do it together?
What if there's
You're trapped in a time?
Yeah. If we can't get to each other because of that.
I will always find you. Don't ever say that. I will always find you.
Okay. But okay, that's fine. I can die first then. But anyways, I was saying die
I
at
don't
the
want
same
you to
time,
die first.
So neither one of us have to go through that heartache.
No, I'm okay with that. I was just asking a question.
Okay. Anyways, but I don't want it to be in Supernatural or in a lot of other places, other movies and stuff, where if you die, you have to stay there. I want us to be able to
sure,
do whatever.
Roam.
And it'd be the ultimate prank. Our life would be a prank war.
What's the first thing you would do?
Oh gosh. I'd visit the kids.
Oh, 100%. Are you kidding me?
Kids.
I'd mess with them so much.
So much.
So much. I would ruin their lives. That'd be wild. Man, we could be like Ghost Dad, only without with a rapey actor.
Ghost Dad?
You never saw Ghost Dad with Bill Cosby growing up?
No.
Oh my gosh. I would say that we have to watch it, but I don't know if I could watch something with Bill Cosby if I'm being honest.
You know what I seen on TikTok the other day? I haven't got a chance to look it up and see if it's real. But
man, your hair smells great.
Thank you.
You know it does.
Apparently.
Who's Lee?
R. Kelly's victims.
Oh God, I don't like this conversation
get
at all.
The money from his royalties.
Oh,
so
really?
You can listen to his music if you want.
Oh.
We'll have to look that up and make sure it's real. But if it's real, we could still listen to Hot and Fresh out the kitchen in. And the money will go to the victims.
Huh. I like that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
But anyways, Yeah, being a ghost would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be a good time.
I'd love it.
I would love it. What do you got going on? What's happening?
Not much. Just, again, like the last episode, working and reading. Although, we talked
Maybe
about...
I should just quit asking you. I need to just phrase it different.
Just say...
What are you reading?
What are you reading, or how's work going? Yeah.
Yeah, what
Preferably,
are you reading?
what am I reading? So, last time I talked about the Maze Runner series, which is great. And we put a disclaimer on here that Chia doesn't only read spicy books. So, this other series I'm currently listening to.
Yeah.
So, this author has...
I was waiting for you to be like, so spicy. No. This other series is incredibly spicy.
So, I read a previous series of hers that there was spice in it, but it wasn't... Like, when people say smut, like, a lot of the books I read are smut, which there's a plot line in it, but it's heavy on the spice. Where some books, like... This author, her name is Sarah J. Maas. I read the ACOTAR series, which that's just an acronym for the first book. First book is A Court of Thorns and Roses.
Okay, I was going to say ACOTAR. Not Avatar.
No, ACOTAR.
Because it sounded like you said Avatar.
You think that every time, and I know I enunciate it right. So.
It's not that. It's just that ACOTAR isn't anything.
Well, it is to some people. Anyways. So, it's a fantasy series.
Yes,
Absolutely
with dragons and whatnot.
No, there's not dragons. That's Fourth Wing you're thinking of.
Oh, my bad.
This has the fae with the bat wings.
Okay.
Yeah. Big wings fans.
Yeah, but it's a spicy book.
It has spice in it. It's a fantasy book, or some people might classify it as romantasy. Okay. There is a lot of romance in it, and there's some spice in it. The further you get in the books, the more spice there is. Now I'm reading or listening to, which it's still reading. Don't let anyone tell you that listening to audiobooks isn't reading.
Leading.
Huh?
Leading.
Listening, reading. Yeah. I like that.
Leading.
I'm reading the Thorn of Glass series. Mm-hmm. So, again,
how are you going to say I like that and then not use it right after?
Sorry.
I feel like you were 100% just like, oh, I guess I'll throw him a bone here. Like, yeah, oh, I like it, and then you're just like, anyways, I was reading.
I still feel weird saying it.
All right. I'm using it. That's it. I'm leading.
Throne of Glass is the first book in the series.
Okay.
And then there is different ways you can read it.
I don't know what that means.
So there's 8 books in total.
Oh, but you don't have to read them in order.
Some people swear there's a specific order you have to go into, but there's conflicting.
There's a lot of stuff like that. Yeah. People say that about Star Wars.
So, I read A Throne of Glass first, and then I think I was supposed to read maybe. I can't remember what the next one was called. Anyways, but there's a novella called, or like a prequel called Assassin's Blade. So I read Thunder of Glass, and I read Assassin's Blade.
Yeah.
I think you're actually supposed to read book 2 and then read Assassin's Blade, and I messed that up. However,
it still didn't matter that much.
I wish I would have read Assassin's Blade first.
Really?
Yeah, because there is, in A Throne of Glass, the main character, Selena Sardouthian, she's an assassin.
Okay.
She is the assassin.
Gotcha.
She keeps talking about...
So she's like Arya Stark grown up.
Kind of, but like... Yeah, kind of, I guess.
Okay.
So she keeps talking about this guy named Sam. And you can tell from the way she's talking and certain things she says that she loves Sam, but Sam died. And you're like, oh, that sucks. Then you read Assassin's Blade, which happens before Throne of Glass.
Right.
Sam is alive. Mm-hmm. You see their story unfold.
So it would have...
Had I read that first and not known
it would have
anything,
had more of an impact.
I would have like, oh, her and Sam, they're endgame.
Yeah.
And then when he dies, I would have been like, what? But you know the whole time he's dead.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry if I spoiled it for anyone. I guess I can't recommend now.
Yeah.
I think it still would be more impactful because
wouldn't it be funny if I just went through and like bleeped any of the spoilers? It was just
name,
like beep.
But like reading Throne of Glass, he just seemed like a
who?
Sam.
Beep.
He just seemed like someone who was from her past. She talks about her parents too.
Yeah.
I'm in book like 4 or 5. I don't think I'm ever going to get there's no prequel of her parents. So her talking about her parents' death does nothing for me.
Right.
I've not grown attached to those characters. Had I read Assassin's Blade first, I would have grown attached. So I was a little bummed. But anyways, it's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of fae. There's magic. There's a lot of fighting.
Yeah.
A lot of fighting. Yeah. There is some romance.
Mm-hmm.
There's yet to be any spice.
Okay.
So, like, at one point...
I know a book you should read.
What?
Wizard's First Rule.
Okay.
It is a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But there actually is a little bit of spice in it.
Yeah.
Not a ton, but there's a little bit. There's a love story going on.
Yeah.
And I actually think we have it on Audible.
Okay.
It
Wizard's First Rule?
It was the first book we got on Audible. So,
because I like fantasy a lot.
I actually think you'll really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's a fun book.
Yeah.
It's a long one.
How long? Let's see if it's on Audible.
It is on Audible.
How many hours it is.
If you go into Audible and then you go to just our
I can just look it up.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Who is it? Terry who? Terry
Goodkind. Yeah.
34 hours.
It's a very big book.
Ooh.
And I've read it twice.
Jesus.
I read it paperback.
Did you let it or read it?
I read it and then let it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I like it. And it's a whole series.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how many there are in it, but there's at least like 4 or 5.
Okay.
And I think we have a few of them.
Yeah.
In paperback.
There's a book that one of my friends, Derek, recommended to me, and he actually bought me the ebook of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's one of the very few that it's not on Kindle Unlimited. Like, you can get it on your Kindle.
Sure.
It's not in the Unlimited library. So I was either going to have to use a credit on Audible, buy the ebook, or buy the physical book.
Yeah.
And there's so many other books that I want to purchase that I kept putting on the back burner. And Derek was like, "Did you get that book yet? Did you read that book yet?" And finally, he just bought it and sent it to me.
Do you want to know my biggest pet peeve as a father and a husband?
Huh.
And I don't think I realized that until just now. Mm. The 2 things that I don't like.
Oh, no. I know what you're going to say.
What are they?
Other men buy me books and food.
No. I didn't even think about that, but I do not like that. Didn't think about that at all. No. The 2 things that I do not like about being a father and a husband. Mm-hmm. Having to be the safe for all passwords.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't matter how many times you're like, I will start doing it for the kids.
Yeah.
You never will. You never will. They will always come to me for passwords. And we have so many.
Yeah.
There are so many passwords in the world that we own.
Yeah.
I hate it.
We just need to do, like, here's the problem, though, is it's hard sometimes to keep the same password for everything because some of them require you to have uppercase. Some require symbols. Some don't want a symbol. Some, like...
Well, and then some of them you have to update, and it's like, well, we've already used that one. And, anyways.
And they won't let you, like... For me at work, every time I have to update my password at work, I just add another exclamation mark.
I don't know if you should say that.
They have to think of what everything else
true.
is. So I just put an exclamation mark at the end. Some passwords won't let you do that. It has to be something completely different.
Yeah. Every year I change mine at the beginning of the year to Don's Guns 2024. Don's Guns 2025. You know why? Because he doesn't care about making money. He just loves selling guns. The second thing may be worse than the first.
Okay.
And it's not just being a husband and a father. It's just about being like the paterfamilias of our entire family.
Okay.
You all, and I'm including every single family member, in one way or another, fuck up my algorithm in something. YouTube is the only thing I have left.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've been messing it up because I've been watching a lot of sleep videos.
Why are we talking about this when I'm talking about Audible?
It wasn't Audible.
Or
Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
Because every time I get on Kindle now, used to be, I'd get on my Kindle, and everything would be like Stephen King type books, comic books. Here's graphic novels you'll want to read. It was always books I'd want to read. I'm going to just open up my Kindle.
And see the suggestions?
I'm going to see what the suggestions are
All
right
right.
now in my Kindle
love
Unlimited.
It's our Kindle Unlimited.
Now, it's yours. It's definitely yours, and you let me use it.
You could get me my own because I don't like the fact that you can borrow up to 20 books. If no one knows how Unlimited works.
So you want us to have another subscription?
No one knows how. A lot of people don't know how Unlimited works. So I'm going to tell you. You pay like, what is it, $10 a month or something, and you have Kindle Unlimited, and you can have this app on like your iPhone. You can have an actual Kindle, whatever. So you can purchase books, and those are your books forever. You own them. So even if you stop paying for your subscription, you would keep those books. But you also can borrow books, and you can borrow them for as long as possible. So like if I have 10 books in my Unlimited library that I've borrowed, I don't have to return those. However, if my subscription stops, those go out of my library.
Right.
So anything you purchase, like say I had 50 books in there I purchased and I quit paying for it, I can still read those all I want.
Right. It's like Audible.
So there's certain books that I like to reread that I like just to leave in the Unlimited queue. But I can't because my husband has all these books in there that he has no intention of reading ever.
You don't know that, and it's my Kindle.
Okay. What are your suggestions?
Here's my suggestions.
Oh, those I see too right away I need to read.
And real quick, just a heads up, because you can't see the suggestions, every single one of them have a dude with no shirt on with a body I'll never have.
Okay.
More like your recent books. Devil's Advocate.
By Ashley Jane.
The Devil.
By Ashley Jane.
Shame. Blame it on the... Or is it Blame It on the Shame?
Blame it on the shame.
Well, that's weird the way that they read it.
I've already read that, and I've read that one too.
The Consequence. Yeah, you've told me. Yep. The Wildflower.
I've never
The
read
Wallflower. Bad Intentions.
I've never read this.
Sticks and Stones.
Yeah.
These
that looks like a hockey romance.
These are all... Well, that one's Midnight Blue. It's got a guy with a guitar. You like those. Mm-hmm. These are all, every single one of them.
What are those down there?
More like your recent books. All right, let's see what... Sizzling, Storm, Tangled Decadence. It pains me when we lie. Tangled Innocence. Yeah, just all of them. There's not a single book... We're not shopping. We're not shopping. Stop. There's not a single book on here. Here we go. Continue series you've started.
Okay.
There's one of my books.
Well, that one is not one of your books, but it's not spicy. That's the books I was talking about. I don't know why it's on Unlimited though.
Now we're starting to get into stuff. Oh, we're back to you. Yeah. So. I have read that. Yeah. I am reading a book.
Do you want to get me my own subscription?
How much is it?
I don't know.
I don't even know how much we're paying now for it.
But what are you reading right now, honey?
I have started a series called The Old Man's War.
Okay.
It is
Who's it
very
by?
Interesting.
Oh, he doesn't even know.
Well, I just started reading it not too long ago. It's John... what is it? John Scalzi? Scalzi? Scalzi. Scalzi. John Scalzi. Old Man's War. I've been recommended... This book has been recommended to me by at least 3 to 4 other people. Mm-hmm. One of which is Matt, found to be missing. Okay. One of my closest friends.
That's his Twitch handle?
That is his Twitch handle. Okay. Found to be missing. Which, we just call him Found.
Yeah.
Anyways, he has told me for years to read this book. Mm-hmm. And I'm finally reading it now, and he's like super, super excited because it's like one of his favorite books.
Oh, so that's not just something you do for me. You do that for all your girls.
Yeah.
Got it. I thought I was special, but okay.
Whatever. It is very interesting. So it's again, I'm not very far into it, but here, let me read the synopsis.
Okay.
Because
I like a good synop.
Yeah, this might actually help. Well, I didn't want to actually open the book.
Go to Goodreads and read the synopsis. That's what I do.
Nice.
Yeah, because once it's in Unlimited, you can't
Yeah.
click on it to read the synopsis, it's just going to go where you were reading
That's
it.
not what I want to do. Old Man's War. All right.
Not have it? Okay.
John Perry did 2 things on his 75th birthday. First, he visited his wife's grave. Then, he joined the army. The good news is that humanity finally made it into interstellar space. The bad news is that planets fit to live. Sorry, you touched me, and I lost my train of thought. The bad news is that planets fit to live on are scarce, and alien races willing to fight us for them are common. So, we fight. To defend Earth and to stake our own claim to planetary real estate far from Earth. The war has been going on for decades, brutal, bloody, unyielding. Earth itself is a backwater. The bulk of humanity's resources are in the hands of the Colonial Defense Force. Everybody knows that when you reach retirement age, you can join the CDF. There's a lot to this. I didn't realize it was so long.
That is a long synopsis. Yeah.
They don't want young people. They want people who carry the knowledge and skills of decades of living. Of decades of living. I do this professionally now.
Okay.
Just usually not this, You'll be taken off Earth and never allowed to return. You'll serve 2 years at the front, and if you survive, you'll be given a generous homestead stake of your own on one of our hard-won colony planets. John Perry is taking that deal. He has only the vaguest idea of what to expect, because the actual fight, light years from home, is far, far harder than he can imagine, and what he will become is far stranger. This summer, coming to...
That does sound interesting.
Yeah, it's... So, basically, this dude is an old dude, and he joined the army. And now, like, where I'm at in the book is he's just now getting on, like, a spaceship to, like, take off. But I'm very curious to see how this unfolds.
Yeah.
Because one of the things I like about it, and it's like, intriguing, is that once you leave, you're never allowed to come back. Mm-hmm. Which means that they have no idea what actually happens to people when they leave.
No one can...
The only communication they get is from the CDF.
Yeah.
Like, it said, like, occasionally you can have, like, letters sent back. Like, you can find a guy, like a pilot or something that you can bribe.
Like smuggle letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no one really knows what happens. People leave the planet, never come back, because there's, like, a quarantine in the planet. So once you leave, you're not allowed to come back. Mm-hmm. And there are no communication. Once somebody's gone, they're gone. So it's basically like, well, we'll never see them again. So I'm very interested to be like, what are they really up to?
Right.
And supposedly, and we haven't gotten here yet, they have a way of basically de-aging someone. Oh. So, like, if the average age is, like, 80 on Earth, it could be, like, 120.
Oh, okay.
Or something.
So he's not that old going out there.
Exactly. So he's 75, but they have a way of making him young again. I think. But again, I don't know. I'm not that far into it. They've kind of hinted to that. Yeah. But again, that's what they think. They don't know because no one knows what actually happens. Huh. Very interesting.
So, since we're talking about books, normally at this point of the year, I've read a lot, but a lot of them have been rereads. And I've had so many books that I've had, like, in my head that I want to read. Yeah. That I counted them the other day, which I'm doing a reread right now on for my ebook because I just needed, like, a comfort read. Mm-hmm. But so out of all the books I've read this year, the one I'm currently reading will be number 11 for rereads. But out of my completed books, I've read 10 books that I previously read before. All the others were brand new books.
Nice. And how many did you say you've read?
I've read 81 books this year.
81 books.
So 71 of those were brand new books that I'd never read before.
This is the first week of July.
Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible.
It is, but it's a little sad, too, because, like, I ain't got nothing else going for me.
What?
But, like, I don't
It's the thing that you enjoy doing.
I know, but, like,
if we looked up how many hours I spent gaming this year.
But you interact with other people. Like, Everything else gives me like awful anxiety, except going to work. Going to work doesn't give me anxiety because I know what I'm doing there. And
everything else you feel unsure about.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're always second guessing yourself after the fact.
Including communicating with other people. Not people at work. I don't feel like that because I've worked with these people for so long.
It's because you feel confident in who you are at work.
Yeah.
But you haven't found yourself yet.
Yeah.
So you're not confident in who you are.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't really care to get there because it seems like a lot of hard work. So I'd rather just seclude myself.
I don't think it's hard. I don't think it's hard work at all. It's just getting to the point of.
Now I have friends. I'm not gonna say I don't. I just don't go out and do things very often because there's few people that I don't get a lot of anxiety around if I'm around them too long. Meaning I can go hang out with friends outside of work. Again, work people don't count. I don't ever.
Oh, if your work people hear this, you just said they're not your friends.
They are my friends, but I mean people outside of work that aren't my friends.
Yeah.
Or that are my friends. I can be around them, but after a while, I start worrying, like, did I talk too much? Did I say something out of pocket? People at work expect me to say stuff out of pocket all the time. And no one bats an eye. I mean, we'll laugh about it and stuff, but no one bats an eye. No one cares.
So the problem is that you care too much what other people think.
I don't want to offend anyone.
No, that's definitely true, but, I mean, yeah. You just got to get comfortable with who you are. You're cool.
I don't know if cool is what I would say.
I would.
Would you?
You think I'm going to hang out with uncool people?
Yes, baby, because you're kind to everybody.
That is true. Everybody's cool though, man. I'm not kidding. There is something.
You find the good qualities in everyone, and you can bring that out in them, and they will talk about whatever is their passion or their interest in life. And you can tell when they talk to you about it, they feel good and confident about it because you think everyone's passions and interests are cool.
Yeah. 100%.
It might not be something that you particularly want. Like, you love hearing me talk about my books. You don't want to read all the spicy stuff I read.
Right. Me and Steven was just talking about this because he said some dudes started at work. He said this one kid started at work and was like, as soon as he met him, he's like, "Hey, Steve, you got any, like, special interests or hobbies?" And Steve was just like, "Who asks that?" Like, and he's like, and then what's crazy is about 2 months later, another guy started, and he came up to me and said, "Hey, Steve, you got any special interests or hobbies?" He's like, that's so weird. And I was like, that's not weird at all. I was like, these dudes are trying to find common ground with you, and they just don't know how to do it. So they're just point blank asking.
Yeah.
Because if you come back and you're like, "Oh, yeah, like RC cars," they'll be like, "Oh, my God, I drive RC cars." Like, and that's what he wants, because he wants someone else to share the passion with.
Yeah.
When you have a passion about something, and then you find someone that also feels like that, so it's you starting to build a community. We all crave community in one way or another, and it is so interesting to me to watch people unfold. And it could be anything, like whatever their passion is in that moment. Like, I've had dudes talk to me about all kinds of stuff that I really don't care about, but in that moment I really care about it.
You can see people change, especially if it's someone who's doing something that's conventionally seen as uncool, like Pokemon cards. An adult who likes Pokemon, even kids, but an adult who likes Pokemon cards.
Right.
If someone said, "Hey, what do you like to do?" and they're like, "Oh, I collect Pokemon cards," and someone's like, "Oh, all right," they're not going to say anything. If you look at them and say, "Oh, well, how long have you been doing that?" Like, literally their face changes. They
I'm
go
interested,
into a whole
man.
spiel about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's all
It's
you
like,
have
when
to
did
do.
you start, dude?
Yeah.
Like, what got you into that?
How much do you have?
Yeah.
Are you one of those people that, like, you got a whole binder?
Yeah.
Or do you only keep special ones?
I just talked to someone about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because I was like, "Well, you've played, like, Pokemon." I was talking about Magic the Gathering. I was like, "Well, you've played, like, Pokemon before." And they're like, "Nah, I never played anything like that." And then they were like, there was a look in their eyes. And I was just like, you've played card games. And he was like, "Well, my neighbor used to play Yu-Gi-Oh, and I got, like, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
I got, like, super into Yu-Gi-Oh for a while." And fully expected me to, like, make fun of him.
Yeah.
And I did a little because it was Christopher. But that's different. It's my nephew.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, that's cool, dude. Like and he knows stuff about it. I'm like, yeah, just have fun.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what made me think of that is because Christopher said something. He was like, oh, we could just do this. That's not bad.
Yeah.
But he said something. He was like, yeah, when or no, we were looking at the games, and he was like, which one of these games is your favorite? And I was like, oh, dude, board games is what I'm talking about. And I was like, oh, dude, I don't know. I was like, I've probably played like Star Realms the most. I was like, but there's a couple of games that I love playing that I don't know how often I'll put on the table. Like, and then I started talking about the Legendary Encounters games and how much I love playing them. I was like, dude, it's like playing solitaire in space. Like, it's so rad. I was like, it's super fun. It doesn't feel like you're playing a game by yourself. And he's like, well, yeah, isn't that kind of weird to play a game? And I'm like, dude, we play video games by ourselves all the time. It's the same thing. So, but then I started telling him about how whenever we bought it, we were looking for Legendary Encounters Predator, and then it was super expensive. It went out of print, and then it was super expensive. And so like I was on a hunt for over a year, and then I found it for $20 at that store, brand new. And I was so into the story, and he was just like really listening. And Jasmine said something like as a joke, like, I can't even remember what she said, but Christopher's just like, yeah, but he's like really into it. He's like, you're gonna end up with all these board games whenever your dad dies, and you're just gonna throw them all out, aren't you? And she's like, yep, I'm gonna be like, throw this trash out there. My dad was a hoarder.
I don't like that. I feel like I can't respond to you because I feel like it's too far away.
Oh, okay. But no, it was just nice, like, and I told him that afterwards. I was like, dude, that felt pretty good. I was like, I haven't like talked to anybody about this stuff in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just cool to have someone listen about something that most people don't give a shit about board games. If you talk about board games, they're like, oh yeah, like Monopoly and Sorry and stuff. And it's like, no. It's like, no, dude. I'm talking about tabletop games, baby.
There.
Yeah. And every person that has been like, oh, I just don't play those kind of games, that will take the time to sit down with us, they collect board games now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Or they, at least card games and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, they get into it. Like, Mom.
Yeah.
Like, Mom was like, oh, she's like down, but she's kind of like, I don't know. She loves it.
Yeah.
Like, she's like, yeah, bring a bunch of games over. Let's have a game night. Like, every now and then and stuff. They just open up a whole world.
Mm-hmm. We played Sequence again not too long ago. That's like our favorite go-to game.
Yeah, but why?
Because I win.
No, why did we play Sequence?
Because it's a board game and a card game.
Oh my gosh. What led up to us?
Oh, playing it at a friend's house. I don't know where this is going. Oh, because our power went out.
Yes.
You mean this past time? I thought you meant in general.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, and then the kids took a bunch of the board games to their room. So that was really nice that we had all of them when the power went out for like 2 days. 2.5, 3.
It was 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 3 days.
So I guess we'll lead into the adventures we have been on not too long ago.
Yeah. I don't. What else?
Let's go back to the cruise ship because there was a lot more on the cruise ship. So
definitely.
We on the last episode we kind of explained the cruise ship. So it was the Cruise Askew. The Cruise Askew. Yeah. So it was a themed cruise.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know there was a such thing as themed cruises until this, and then I started finding out that this is a thing to have themed cruises. So what was really nice about that is everyone who was on the cruise was like-minded. We were all fans of Kevin Smith and this universe he's created.
Yeah.
So they had the only negative I would say about it is it was too short. I think it was a 3-day cruise. Yeah. I think 4 or 5 days would be better, and maybe add in a few events, because when I say events, like they had so many events going on. They had multiple podcasts. They had live band. They had script reading. They had meet and greets. They had comedy, which is why Jake was there. They had bar crawls. They had
casino
nights. They had morning meditation, like walks with Ethan Suplee, like
discos and
so much. They had they had a 90s prom, which I'm going to talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
So there was so much to do, and because Jake also had his own shows and he had other things to do, there's a lot we missed out on
Yeah.
even, and I know
I
other
really
people
wanted
did
to see
too.
Mega Ran.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Mega Ran so bad,
Yeah.
and it never lined up.
Yeah.
Never got to see him.
So it was, I think if they did, which I'm hoping they do, it's going to happen again in 2026. So start looking into it.
If you go to cruiseaskew.com right now, you can actually, I believe you can start reserving tickets now. I believe so. I could be wrong on that because I don't know if they have everything set yet.
Yeah.
But you can at least like sign up for notifications and stuff. So go to Cruise Askew, ASKEW, I believe, cruiseaskew.com, and you can check out all the info there. But it is happening, and word around the campfire is it's going to be longer.
Good.
I don't know.
Definitely needs
I don't
to be
know
longer.
for sure,
Yeah.
but I know that they're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Because also, just from a logistics standpoint, they sold out of everything.
Oh, yeah?
There was like the merch sold out like the second day, I think.
Wow.
There was like hardly anything in there.
And I didn't know this until we were on there, but there was a lot of like Facebook groups. Like they would do it by floors and all kinds of stuff. So when a lot of people got on the ship, they were already friends.
Yeah, they were like meeting their
And so
friends for
they
the
were,
first
like,
time. It was so beautiful,
Jake,
man.
Found has this whole Twitch community, him and Jay, and now Jake is a part of that Twitch community. And so he has all these friends that he talks about all the time, and every once in a while I pop in and say hi. A lot of them were there. We got to meet them in person.
It was a cool moment when we were walking on the cruise because we're getting like escorted like around the line and everything, and we're about to board, and somebody in the back of the line, like way back in the line, Jake Ruble. And then everybody turns and looks, and I waved, and it was rec time.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, hey, what's up, homie? But yeah, we got to hang out with. That was my favorite part. Like, I loved so many parts of the cruise. I really did. It was so much fun. I really thought I was not going to like it very much. I only got nauseous one time, and then I took one of those ginger things, and I was fine.
Yeah.
Or Dramamine.
I was like, was it ginger flavored?
No, maybe I bet there's ginger in Dramamine.
Yeah, probably.
Anyways, I took Dramamine, which is just synthetic ginger. You know, when you get down to it, it's all it really is. And I felt better. But hanging out with like Found and Sarah and
I had never. I had got to meet Found, but not Sarah.
And I'd never met her.
And we got to hang out so much, and they're absolutely wonderful people. I love them to death.
They're so
it was
fun.
So nice.
It was, and me and Found had so many conversations for like a year. Like, what if the wives don't get along? Like, legit, we were so scared because you guys are so much alike.
Yeah.
To where there's some people you're just like, nope.
Yeah.
Don't like them. And then you're fine with that. We were so scared.
Yeah.
Dude, we talked about it all the time. We were texting each other, like, going, like, it's going to be fine, right? Like, it's going to be fine. Because he's, like, my best friend, and it's like, what if? And
because you've had moments where that's happened, where you've bonded with someone, I'm like, I don't like her.
Yes.
Which,
you're always right.
They usually end up, if they're dating, they break up or they get a divorce because she sucks.
You're always right. I will not argue that by any.
Sarah does not suck. Sarah's wonderful.
I don't know how much he says her name.
Oh.
I just thought of that.
Well, sorry.
We were using a fake
She's
name.
my friend.
We were making it's an alias anyways. That's not even her name. Her name's Brenda.
But so one thing that was really fun. Disclaimer about me, I cannot go without having time to decompress. It doesn't matter if I'm having fun or anything. So we had done a lot this one particular night, and they were having a silent disco. First, never been to a silent disco. I've heard of them.
Yeah.
Really did not know what it was. So Jake wanted, everyone else was going. He was like, let's go. And I was like,
no, first of all, I did not want to go.
Oh.
Just a heads up. I did not want to go.
Yeah.
I wanted to take you.
Okay.
I wanted you to go.
Yeah.
I was not excited about that.
So,
I really didn't want to.
So, and he's trying to get a legit answer from me, and I don't want to say no because I don't want to hurt his feelings, but I really did not want to go, and I have just felt like all the energy was zapped out of me, and instead of saying that, I was just kind of being vague, which doesn't,
bitchy.
Yeah,
you're being a little bitchy.
Which doesn't help the situation.
Yeah.
So
vague. Okay.
I was gonna say aloof, but so he's like, let's just go in and see what it's all about. So we walk in, but we walk in a different door.
Yeah.
And we didn't get the headphones, which I'll explain that in a minute. But when we walk in, there's these people with headphones on, and some are green, some are blue, and there's even a few red. And it looked hokey as all get out.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, okay, I don't know if this is for us. It was also the 90s prom.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people went, they
went
brought
all
costumes.
out, dude.
They brought like
they
full-on
planned.
prom outfits.
Yeah.
And it was great. So we're like, oh, no, we'll go back. So once we got in the back in the room and it calmed down a little, I was able to be like, I'm really sorry. I was very overwhelmed, not from anything bad or negative, just so much is going on. So once I decompressed for a minute and I changed into some comfy clothes, he's like, all right, let's, we'll go out and we'll smoke. And we smoked for a little bit. And some lady came out and sat at the table with us and smoked with us. And she was talking about it. And she explained the different colors. Mm-hmm. So there's two DJs going. So when you're in there, you put the headphones on, and that's where the music comes from. And you either have the green DJ or the blue DJ. The red is silent. And she was like, yeah, it's just really nice because I can go up to the bartender and I don't have to yell at the bartender, or I can have a conversation just like this and not have to yell. And that kind of piqued our interest. And we're like, oh, okay. So we
usually don't like stuff like that because it's too loud.
Yeah.
And I know how old I sound whenever I say this, but I don't care.
Turn that music down.
Dude, it's just like, if I'm in control of the music, I'm fine with it being super loud.
Yeah.
But if I can't like turn it down and be like, "What was that?"
Yeah.
I don't like do what?
Do what?
I don't like that. So whenever they were like, "Yeah, you can just like take the headphones off and have conversations," it was like, give me that.
So we go ahead in there and we put our headphones on the same station as each other, and Jake's never taken me dancing either. And it was the most
Which
fun.
is why I really wanted to do it. It's because I wanted to take you dancing.
And he danced with me. Yeah. It was super, super fun. And it'd be fun because we'd, like, say we were on the blue DJ, but people would be on the green and they'd be like, whoa, and yelling. And we'd be like, what's that song? And we'd flip it and be like, oh, yeah. And again, this is a 90s prom, so it's all 90s music. But music you would have listened to at a prom or something, or at a club.
Oh my life.
So it was so fun.
For someone
Jake
like
got to see how hot and old I am at the same time.
Dude, oh my god, I still haven't done it on stage. I need to tell this story. So what song was it? I think it was like "How Low Can You Go."
It was Luda's "How Low Can You Go."
Oh yeah.
How low can you go? Yeah.
Yeah. So I like how you call him Luda because you guys are homies, super close friends, close personal friend of mine, Luda. You know him as Luda Chris. I just call him Chris sometimes. But that song is on, and Chia like throws her hand up in the air and goes all the way to the floor. I mean, she dropped that thing like it was on fire. And I was watching and was like, damn, like, all right. And then her hand shoots back up in the air, almost like a sexy thing, where your hand is up and you're like,
my nails had red acrylics and they were so hot.
Yeah, so hot. And her hand shoots up, and I was like, okay, like what's like up? I thought she was gonna like grab like my shirt or something, like pull herself up and be all like sexy. And she put her hand on a stool and just slowly pushed herself back up.
I can get down, but I can't get back up.
It was so funny. I lost it, man. It was so much fun.
Luckily, we were like in the back and off to the side, so I don't think a lot of people noticed.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't think anyone cared though.
No, that was another thing. Is the whole cruise? It was so beautiful that it was just like, and this is the thing that I really love about the Jay and Bob fans. They are so much be yourself people. Mm-hmm. We accept you, whoever, however. Just be yourself, and you're cool.
Yeah.
The only thing that we really don't like is fakeness. Mm-hmm. Don't be fake. Just be real. And we met a lot of people. Yeah. Met some new friends that are probably going to be like lifelong friends. Yeah. And man, it was just so much fun. And going back to what we were saying earlier about like people kind of being reserved, talking about their interests and stuff. That's one thing that was great about this is if you are
a fan of Jay and Kevin and the whole View Askew universe, seriously, get on that website and see about hitting up the next cruise, because you're going to be with so many like-minded people.
Or even like Chronicon or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if the cruise is like, oh man, I can't do that. Like if you're a fan of them, go to an event. If you've never gone to a live event of theirs, go. You will never be more accepted by a community quickly. I mean, it is beautiful. Or if you can't go, just like watch Jay on Twitch. He's on Twitch every single day.
Yep.
And it's just twitch.tv/jmuse. And he talks to fans like on while he's gaming and stuff. He doesn't read chat a ton because there's a bunch of people in there and he's gaming, so he does miss stuff. But he
tries to keep up.
He tries to keep
up.
It
is hard when you're
and
gaming.
and there's a lot of times that people will say stuff and then we'll be like, "Yo, Jay, somebody said this in chat," and stuff like that. But yeah, he's just the sweetest guy ever, and you should totally support him and watch him. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I agree. So, I don't know. We've talked about the cruise. Talked last time about your fanboying out.
Oh yeah.
Anything else good happen lately?
I mean, there's been a bunch of good things happening. I do. Yeah.
Huh.
So, I didn't talk about this in the last episode.
Okay.
So I did talk about pulling back from comedy some.
Yeah.
How I'm doing voice acting.
Yeah.
So while we were on the cruise, somebody came up, and they were handing out comic books.
Oh, yeah.
This one dude was like, "Hey, you like comics?" And I was like, "What cruise are you on?" And he was like, "Hell yeah, dude." And he's like, "Here's a comic we just published." He was like, "I'm the publisher of the comic." He's like, "The artist or the writer creator's here somewhere." And I was like, "Oh, right on." And he's seen the artist badge, and he was like, "Who are you?" And I was like, "No one famous." And I was like, "I'm Jay's opener on the road. I do comedy." And he was like, "Oh, right on." So we struck up a conversation, and I told him, I was like, "So you publish comics?" And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I mean, I have an idea for a comic that I've been wanting to do for a long time." And he was like, "Oh, right on, dude." And I'm like, this dude gets this all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to, like, bombard. I just want to throw it out there, and I'll just leave it. So, then we ran into, like, as we were walking, we ran into the dude who created it. And then he talked to us for a little bit, and then we had to go because I think I was about to go on stage. So we had to run. So we met him very briefly. It was maybe a 2.5 minute conversation in total because I had to run, and I was like, "Yo, find me again." Never ran into each other again, unfortunately. Find me. Never ran into each other again. We get home from the cruise about, I don't know, 3 or 4 days go by, if that. Just a couple days go by, I think. And I get a DM from the creator of the comic. And he was like, "Hey, dude, I was talking, with the publisher, and he was saying that you have an idea for a comic." And I was like, "Yeah, I do." And he said, "Well, if you need any help, just let me know." And I said, "I don't know how to write a comic. I have a story in my head. I have no idea how to do it." And this dude had just done his comic. He's got a couple of them now. His comic is called Stoned Ninja. And he gave me a copy of it. It's really good. I did like it. So I was like, okay.
What's his name?
His name, I'd have to look at his last name.
Okay.
But just look up Stoned Ninja real quick. It's
Keep
Gabriel.
going.
It's Gabriel. Anyways, I feel bad, but I don't want to mispronounce his last name.
Oh, no.
Is the problem.
I get it.
Yeah. So he sends me over basically like his first draft, and he's like, "Here is how you set up a comic script." And I sat down, I looked at that, I sat down, I wrote about half of mine out, sent it to him and said, "Does this look right?" And he goes, "Wow, dude, yeah. I would space it out a little bit more, but other than that, yeah, this looks right." I was like, "Great." Came back to it, finished writing the script that night, sent it to him the next day, and was like, "Well, here's the first draft. Can you tell me what you think?" And he was like, "Oh my gosh, dude. Like, that was fast." I said, "Dude, I've had this idea for over 20 years, man. Like, I'm ready to go. And I just want to get it out of my head and find out." Like, that's the thing about being a writer to me the most is that, like, I'm just trying to find out what the story is.
Yeah.
I have an idea it's like, to me, it's like whenever I get an idea for a story, it's like a trailer. It's like I watch the trailer, basically. I kind of get the idea of what this story is, and it could be really cool. Now I need to watch the movie.
Yeah.
And that's what writing is me sitting down to watch the actual movie. So he messages me back about, I don't know, a couple days later and is like, hey, I read the whole script. I made some notes for you if that's fine. But other than that, I really like this. Like, this story's interesting. I was like, well, dude, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Duranzo. Yes, Gabriel Duranzo. I didn't want to mispronounce his last name, and I would not have said Duranzo. But again, Stone Ninja is his comic, and Mad Dog Publishing is the publishing house, so check them out. They're based out of Memphis, Tennessee. They are the homies. Because Gabe messaged me back and is like, hey, I talked to Shannon, the publisher, and we would like to publish this comic. And I was like, are you serious? And he's like, yeah. And so they got me hooked up with this artist named Mick. I don't know how Mick feels about his full name yet, so I don't know if he wants me to say. I don't know. Sometimes artists are, private about that kind of stuff. I will say this. It is such a perfect match. Mm-hmm. The only thing I will say about Mick is that I wish he had a little bit more confidence.
Yeah.
Just because he messaged me every step of the way, which is great, and I think a lot of it is probably like he just wants to make sure I'm cool with it.
I think after this first one, it'll
I
be
do
fine.
too, because
he wants to know.
Yes.
He wants to get your vision right.
Oh, for sure, 100%. But multiple times I've had to tell him, like, I trust you.
Yeah.
Like, he'll be like, hey, what do you want me to do with this? And I'm like, I trust you, dude. Like, I wrote it out. I want to see what the artist envisions those words to be.
Yeah.
Like, it's your art. Mm-hmm. It's my story, but your art. Mm-hmm. So that's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
But we just also have like a lot in common, and I really like him a lot. So we should have a Kickstarter because it is it costs money to publish. Yeah. Obviously, and even though they are a publisher, they do all of like self-publishing. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna do a Kickstarter for it. And it's going to go along with some of the other stuff. But they already have, like, distribution and stuff. It sounds like I'm, like, getting swindled by a self-publishing company. Because I've worked for self-publishing companies that do that kind of stuff. It is not that by any means.
No.
They are doing a lot of work.
Yes.
It is not me doing honestly, I'm really just writing. Mm-hmm. And then I have to put up a little bit of money for some things. Like, I paid the artist out of pocket because I felt like he deserved it. We could have waited for the Kickstarter and tried it that way, but I was like, no, it's fine. So anyways, we're shooting for October, I believe, for the first issue to be released. Mm-hmm. We had to change the name, and I don't remember what I changed it to.
Oh, no.
Because Incognito has been the name for 20 years.
Yeah.
And
since it's been in your head.
Since it's been in my head. So in my mind, that is the name of it. But unfortunately, we had to change it. So because
that is the name of another comic.
Because that is the name of another comic. So I'm gonna see. I know I sent him a few things. I'm wondering if I text him or if I
called him.
Now I'm nervous because like I'm looking through my phone, and I'm like, I don't know, because I'm pretty far back now.
I bet you called him.
I think I did.
You're gonna have to message him and be like, so
hey man, what's the name of my comic?
What did we decide on?
I know what it is. I'm just gonna mispronounce it if I say it.
What?
I know that sounds stupid. It'll make sense whenever I find it, because it's like what I did was I started looking up so many things that were like Incognito, and metanoia.
Yeah, metanoia.
Metanoia. Is that how you? Hold on. Let me see how you pronounce it. Yeah. This is so funny. This is so funny to me because it's the name of my book that I named, and I'm like, what is that word?
Metanoia.
Metanoia. So metanoia is change in one's way of life resulting from penance or spiritual conversion. What he demanded of people was metanoia, repentance, a complete change of heart. Okay. So that's what it means, which is perfect for the book. Yeah. Because the book is about a guy who hasn't done anything with his life, his whole life. He's just been a bump on a log, no meaning. And then at the end of his life, when he's dying, he's given a chance to do something great.
Mm-hmm.
So he changes.
Yeah.
So like it's perfect. It's just like, dang. It's actually it fits better than incognito. Yeah. But incognito is my favorite word. It's just a fun word. Incognito is so fun to say. Metanoia.
Metanoia.
It's like I might annoy you. Like you might like this book, but it might annoy you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like it. I think it's a great one.
It's a great one. What was that? It was a great one. Are you telling me to like? You telling me to shut it down?
Trying to be incognito.
All you have to do, that stuff's not gonna work.
What do I have to do then?
You just say, "Hey, we're almost at an hour."
Oh, hey, we're almost at an hour.
Like it's fine that they know that you're telling me to wrap it up. It's fine that they know that you're the one that calls the shots.
Okay.
It's completely okay.
Okay.
All right. All right. What? Whoa!
All right. Wrap it up.
Thank you. Well, guys, this has been a fun time. We're so excited to be back with you doing podcasts. And who knows what's around the corner? Who knows what kind of fun shenanigans we're going to get up to next? Tune in next week to find out.
Hopefully next week.
Yeah.
Don't make promises.
I was trying to do like the funny thing where it's just like, will Jake ever get out of the well? Tune in next week. Anyways, tune in next week to find out if I'm still in that damn well. You guys have been fantastic. You've been a great audience. I've had a good time. All right, but we got to get out of here. So I love you, and have a beautiful, beautiful day. And I mean, here's the thing: if it's like gross, you know, like things are just gross. And you're like, I can't see the happiness in anything. Everything is dark, and I'm sad, and it's cloudy everywhere I look. I want you to do me a favor right now. All right? I want you to close your eyes. I want you to close your eyes right now. Everything that you envision that's dark, and right now it's probably dark, you know? I want you to envision somebody with a paintbrush, and they're just slowly just making these white strokes, slowly. And then they just keep going, and you're watching it, and you start to see little mountains. And then you just hear this beautiful little voice just come in and just go, you just got to beat the devil out of it. And that's Bob Ross. All right, I want you to just close your eyes and just watch Bob Ross paint a beautiful little painting with, there's a little fishing shack down there, at the bottom of the valley, between two beautiful mountain peaks, and you can see more mountains in the background, but my gosh, it's so beautiful. And that's where you're living at right now. So just stay there a little longer, and don't let the darkness get you. And if it starts to get you, all you gotta do
is laugh and be blessed.
Giggle or chuckle, tickle in your belly like a furry belt buckle. In the wrong with the giggle or chuckle, tickle in your belly like a furry belt buckle. In the wrong with the giggle or chuckle, tickle in your belly like a furry belt buckle.